Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tabifolk Talks, brought to you by Tabifolk, which is an accessible travel forum that you can access on tabifolk.com or from the App Store. So, if you're not familiar with that, feel free to sign up if you'd like to share more information with others all about accessible travel. So, I am joined today by Cristina from Accessible Romania, and we're very excited to chat. So Romania is the big topic today. So feel free to leave any questions live for Cristina while we're talking, or if you think of any, feel free to leave them after the fact, and we'll get them answered for you. Before I introduce Cristina, I will just give a visual descriptor of myself. I am a white woman with shorter length brown hair, and I'm wearing a navy blue sweater, and I'm sitting on a gray recliner chair with a light yellow background. And I will be so we're in two video screens right now, one with me, one with Cristina, and then when we're going over questions, I'm going to share a presentation that Cristina made up, and we will describe it as we go through and answer the questions. So hi, Cristina, if you don't mind giving a visual descriptor and then telling us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Danielle. Hi, everyone. I am really excited to be here and talk to you and talk with you about Romania. So I am a white woman, dark hair, medium dark hair. I wear glasses. I have a gray blouse and a colored scarf. And behind me, it's the background of Accessible Romania by Sano Touring that has the initials ARO colored.
Okay, great. So, can you tell us a bit about Accessible Romania? And I'll bring up the presentation to the screen, which says Tourism and Culture for All in Romania, which was, as you mentioned, brought by Accessible Romania. So tell us a bit about Accessible Romania, and then I'll get to some specific questions.
I will start by telling about Romania. Romania, if you go to the second slide, it's the dark point in the middle of the map. It shows the map of the world, and right there, just in the middle, near in the Eastern Europe, near the Black Sea, it's our country, a small country, but a very beautiful one. And I hope that after an hour you'll agree with me that it's a beautiful country. And because we have a lot to share, we have nature, we have a lot of culture and a lot of years behind us to put together and add to our experience.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll definitely go over some of the more adventures we can go into it in a minute. But would you like to share the history of Accessible Romania?
Yes, I founded it in 10 years ago in 2012, 2014. We started operations in September, 1 year later, in September 2015. 1 year later, we became members and we started by under the brand of Sano Touring and the slogan, Discover the True Feeling of Romania. Then 1 year later, we joined ENAT, which is the European Network for Accessible Tourism. We had all these years of very strong connection and relationship with everyone in ENAT. And in 2021, we became the national contact point. For in 2021, just after the pandemic, during the pandemic, we had a lot of time to think and to make some decisions on our what to do, what next. And we decided to start by rebranding. And we are now operating under the name of Accessible Romania, and kept the former name Sano Touring in order to make the connection with our former um, colleagues, partners, and tourists. So
Okay, great. That's awesome. Do you want to tell us a bit more about your team?
yes, we are a team of quite small team. Uh, this is in the upper right side of the screen is Irina. She's the travel manager. Basically, she leads she manages all the operational activity in the agency. She's a very passionate tourist professional, and she joined us from the very beginning. This year in May, there we will celebrate 10 years since we are together, and she's truly passionate about accessible tourism. She got it very. She simply loves it, and the passion it's there. Then the picture down under the she it's Dragos. He's a lawyer and he supports us with all the administrative stuff and contracts and everything that it's uh, helping us to be compliant with the laws and regulations and everything. Then in the right uh, down corner is Andrei. Andrei, he's a university teacher, but also he's one of our colleague guides. He loves traveling and he loves guiding, and he he's supporting us in the field with accompanying our tourists. Then it's me in the middle down. It's a picture of me a few years back when with the logo of Sano Touring. In the lower left side, it's Irina and myself in 2018. It's a picture we took at the um, Mesa, at the tourist fair, where for the first time Romania was present with us, which are still the only agency specialized in accessible tourism. And the
Okay.
last picture, it's myself sometimes, years back at the office.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing. Seems like you guys do a lot of great work. And now let's get into it. So what exactly does your team do?
We actually do your vacation, plan your tours and vacations. We design tours, we design city breaks, we design wellness trips, day trips, whatever you need. Uh, Simply you contact us, you let us know. You can see on our website which are our proposals for each types of these products. You have questions or you have an idea of what you would like to see, you contact us. Um, you give us some details. Otherwise, when we will reply to you and ask for more details, especially on your special needs, because all our tours are customized and respond precisely to the special needs of everyone. Uh, all the locations we are proposing in a tour, whether accommodation or museums or other stopovers during a tour, are checked for accessibility with our colleagues and friends, persons with different disabilities. So we know exactly which are the elements of the accessibility elements of everything. So we give you all the information, and from home before leaving for Bucharest or for Romania, uh, exactly where you are going to stay with pictures and all the details and everything.
Okay, great. So on the next slide, we'll see two buses, like accessible buses, but not major buses. They're more. I don't know if you'd have a name for these, but are
It's
these
a
are
van.
oh, van. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know why I said bus, but yeah, a van, like an oversized van, and that is wheelchair accessible with a ramp in the back. So these are part of your company.
Yes, we bought this van. It's only one. It's an 8+1 crafter van. It even has a name, Crafty. Uh, and we decided because in Romania there are still a lot of shortages in terms of accessibility, and one of them is the lack of accessible transportation. And it the circumstances allowed us in 2019 to buy this van that can accommodate up to two wheelchairs and up to six companions. So,
Okay.
and we can use it for either 8 persons or with two wheelchairs and six companions.
Okay,
So
great.
yes, it allow us to be very versatile when combining the group.
Okay, and the different activities as well, because it's not
Yes,
like a
yes.
fixed route like a train or something like that. So that's great. And before I ask any more specific questions, we'll just kind of go on the next slide, which show some pictures from a guest trip. One on the left shows a group near like a waterfront, I don't know, pier
Yes,
maybe, and then
yes, it's a pier. It's a pier. It's at the Black Sea in Constanța group. We had an event on European Maritime Day, which is happening. It's a European Commission's initiative. You can see that everyone is wearing some bags imprinted with the logo of the day. And in the right side, there is also at the seaside male in a wheelchair is entering with the help of the ramp on the back of a boat. You know,
Okay, great. Yeah, and is that looks like a because I haven't seen too many setups like that on the back of like a boat. That would be like a mid-size motor boat, you would say, right?
yes, it's a mid-sized motorboat, and the wheelchair. The person in the wheelchair will enter in the on the boat with his wheelchair on the wheelchair, and then he can sit and get he can move on the bench.
Okay.
This specific boat does not have that fixing elements on the floor, but if the person is mobile enough, he can move to the bench, get very well secured,
Okay.
and get
Yeah,
on the
great.
trip.
Yeah, that's awesome because I've never seen like a boat like that. I've seen like Hoyer lifts going into a boat, but never a boat that actually had a back that was accessible that way. So that's awesome to see. So here's some more some pictures. On the left, I'm not really sure, and on the right, it's in front of one of the castles that we'll talk about a little bit more. But what's going on in these pictures?
That's Dracula's castle. Uh,
Oh, okay.
you know it by Dracula. It's the Bran Castle. It's the name of the castle is Bran. Of course, everyone wants to see the Bran Castle because it's famous. The Dracula's castle because it's famous. Unfortunately, it is not accessible. One can only enter and stay in the yard and look around because it's an old castle. It's built in 2000 years or 1200. I mean, it cannot be made accessible, but it's an experience. And if you are into the vampires and you can enjoy that. So we wanted to show that some of our guests along the years that trusted us with their holidays, their vacations,
Yeah, that's
in
awesome.
order to show that okay, we are not very accessible. Maybe we will take another hour to tell you a little bit about our background and why maybe we are not as accessible or into accessibility as we would like to be. But we are doing a lot of progress. I mean, in the last 10 years, a lot of progress has been done, and we can feel it firsthand. We are in the middle of it, of course.
Yeah, because that was like a question I had because transparently I didn't know much about Romania. And I in my research I saw, which I'll show on the next slides, like the medieval castles and the beautiful mountain landscapes. So what was it about Romania that made it seem like a great spot for accessible tourism? Like, did you think the infrastructure was suitable for it, or did you just feel like it could be great with the right services?
Let's say it's a combination. First, you have to know, and we will see later some pictures. Romania has been blessed by the nature with 2/3 of the national resources of Europe in terms of mineral waters and other natural resources that for 2000 years have been used for healing purposes, for rehabilitation, and for well-being, basically. I mean, the Romans had here castrums and used these facilities 2000 years ago. So we have this history in what we are nowadays calling spa tourism, and um, one of the components is the medical tourism. People are coming there and with the proper treatment supervised by doctors, of course, and therapists and so on, and they actually get better. So we have this history, and that targeted in the first seniors,
Okay.
and with all these circumstances where the people are getting old, a large number of people is getting old, a large number of people is getting more and more acquired disabilities from one reason or another. um, we found I discovered accessible tourism in the notion of accessible tourism in 2013 while researching for a European project, and I actually was fascinated, and I realized that it's a thing that we must do, because we have some grounds. On one hand, we had this history on silver tourism, let's say, for with the spa, and then we had various landscapes. We had we have forests, so healing forests. And now it's a very modern concept of healing forests and
Yes.
for well-being, sustainable tourism, rural tourism, and we tried to see how we can match which are the actual resources we had at the time, in order to start and see if we can do actually accessible tourism for persons with disabilities and not only for seniors. And we discovered some hotels who had accessible rooms, properly designed, who had accessibility elements properly designed and included. And we started from I mean, when in tourism, you usually create a tour you have an idea. Look, we are going to make a tour of witches, and which are the places, and we are going to find the witches. Uh, we started from the other side. We identified which are the accessible places and try to put them together in tours, longer or shorter, and put together this different theme of the tours in order to be attractive, but making sure all along that it should be accessible.
Oh,
And if
great.
not,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's great. And sorry, you were gonna say something?
no, 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 please.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, no, that sounds super interesting, and there's definitely a big market. Like you said, like a lot of people just think, like the aging population, because that's kind of something that's well known in society that the population's aging, like bigger groups. But there are also a lot of people that spend money in groups that need accessibility for at least one of their travelers. So
Yes.
it's definitely a big market, and and I'm glad that you got involved to create that accessibility into these amazing places, which I'll show right now briefly. These are some of the medieval castles that we were talking about earlier, and there's I don't know how you would describe this architecture, if there's a word for it. I just say medieval. I'm not super well known in
It's
architecture.
not medieval.
Oh, really?
This one is not medieval. It's actually built in the 1800s.
Okay.
It was We had a very tumultuous history. It would maybe take another hour to tell stories about our backgrounds, but at some point in history, in the 1800s, we were a kingdom, the kingdom of Romania, and have been ruled by a German family of Hohenzollerns. And this is a castle called Peleș Castle. It's placed in the mountains in about 120 kilometers from Bucharest. And he built it. King Charles I built it in order to remind him of his German roots,
Oh, nice.
and the style is German, but um, uh, the castle has some very interesting history. It was the first heat
Oh,
castle, and it's a very interesting architecture and a beautiful story.
yeah.
Now it is in the property of the royal family,
Oh, okay.
represented. Our late king died a few years back, King
Oh, okay.
Michael. He has five daughters, and the eldest is the custodian of the crown, and
Oh, okay. Okay, wow.
Margaret. Yes,
Wow, very interesting. Yeah, and
and
the ones
here
on the
in this palace, if I remember correctly, it was a movie that has been filmed. I can't remember
Oh,
the name.
okay.
Yes, there are a lot of places that have been used by Hollywood
I can
to.
imagine.
The
Yeah.
last one was Wednesday. Maybe you heard about Wednesday, the last Wednesday series. It's on in the Adams Family series.
Oh, Wednesday. Oh,
Wednesday,
yes.
yes.
Oh, okay. I was
The
wondering if
first,
that was it. Yeah, I didn't watch it, but
yes,
I know it was very popular on Netflix.
yes, it was filmed in Romania, the
Yeah.
first one.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah, I can totally see where they would want to make sets here with these castles on hills and all that. It's very, very
These
scenic.
are medieval fortresses, indeed, both of them in the top of the mountains. This is in the left side. It's Sighișoara, which is one of the inhabited medieval cities, still inhabited medieval citadels.
Oh, okay.
Uh, on the next slide on the right, this one,
Oh, okay.
and in the background there is the watch tower of the watch, which is the symbol of Sighișoara. In the right side of the image is another beautiful city. It's Sibiu. Sibiu was the European Capital of Culture in 2007, and it's a beautiful city. You have to know that maybe I should have started with a little bit of crash course of geography of Romania. So you can imagine Romania, let's say, like uh, a ball. It's not a ball, but in the middle there are some mountains. There are the Carpathians. Crossing them, crossing from the north towards south, and in the right left side of the mountains, it's a region generally known under the name of Transylvania.
Okay.
And on the right side of the mountains, there are two historical regions. In the upper eastern, it's called the former region of Moldova, which it has the same name as the current Republic of Moldova, which at some time were together part of the former kingdom of Romania. And the southern part is called Wallachia, where Bucharest is. Then the so citadels and medieval citadels and cities are placed in Transylvania,
Okay.
because um, we had long influences from the Hungarian and German and Austro-Hungarian along the histories, and their influences were everywhere, from the education to architecture to everything. So their traces are still there and can be seen.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll flip through a few more pictures quickly. These are some more pictures of the
This is
city.
Sibiu.
Yeah.
Look, I love in the left side, the picture in the left. You can see the windows in the on the top of the building. I love them, just like the eyes in the sky. They have
Yeah.
that form of an eye.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome to see, and it's
Yeah.
very
So
colorful as well with like orange and yellow buildings on the right there. I love the colors against the green background, and then some more landscapes
yes,
here. Oh, and then I see, I don't know which,
yes.
is this a museum
It's
that
a
has a
yes,
lift?
it's a museum. Yes, we wanted to show the lift, the stair lift. There are museums that made the efforts to become more accessible and more welcoming for everyone.
Okay, yeah, because
We
in oh, sorry, yeah, in the next slide too, there's another one. How
Yes,
common are these? Because I don't really see these too much in the US where it's a lift that goes up a staircase. Like how common would you say that is?
uh, they are common. They should be common according to the European laws.
Okay.
In this specific case, we are talking about Alba Iulia. It's a city that has been built on the ruins of Roman castrum. So it has a very very long history. It's a beautiful city with a lot of history, and it has been restored with the European funds for with a lot of money during the years, because it was a lot of work to do over there. And when the architects that designed the plans for the restoring and for the preservation of the citadel took care of accessibility aspect, and this is actually the entrance to the toilet.
Oh, okay,
So
that's great. Okay. Yeah.
so they did a great job, and Alba Iulia, it's a really must see.
Yeah, that's great. So we mentioned a bit about like the landscapes. I'm showing two pictures now. One on the right is more of like a mountain landscape in front of some rolling hills, and then on the left, it's like kind of a view from the top of a hill showing, I don't know, would that be a city below?
Yes, it's a small city over there. It's a city over there between the mountains. And in the right side, it's let's say a very common landscape in the mountains.
Oh,
Wherever you go
oh, wherever. Okay, so that's like a common view.
in the
So we're
mountains, yes, yes.
okay, yeah, that would probably be on the right as well with the mountains. Yeah, it's very
Uh-huh.
picturesque with the clouds in the sky, and then on the right, it's kind of showing another small town or city between mountains. So yeah, very, very picturesque. So switching gears a bit, I always ask this question because I'm a very picky, like, typical like American that doesn't have like a very extensive palate. So is there any type of cuisine that you could compare Romanian food to, or how I don't know, you can talk a little bit about it, but I don't know if it's comparable to anything.
Yes, it's common. Our we are very close to the Western cuisine. I mean, we eat pork, we eat veal. We prepare them. We don't prepare as much sheep. We grow sheep, but we are not. It is not very customary for us to eat sheep. We have a lot of fish. We do not have seafood because we do not have. We import them,
Okay.
but we prepare a lot of local dishes on fish.
Okay.
You can have American cuisine, Italian cuisine, French cuisine in every major city.
Oh, okay.
So,
So most
and
people can survive if they're picky
yes, but I'm
in
sure
a
that
more in a city.
so in the right side, you that thing that you see over there, it's a big, it's an actually big bread that
Okay.
had been cooked with a large crust at the exterior. They got out the middle of the bread, and instead they put inside um, bean soup with
Okay.
fumed pork.
Oh, okay.
And this is a specific dish for Sibiu and for Transylvania in general.
Oh, okay. What's it called?
Uh, Ciorba de fasole. It's
Okay. I don't know if I'll remember that. I'll have to rewatch the recording, but very interesting. What are we looking at here on these two slides? At
it
the
is
left, oh, sorry, I
at
was just
the
gonna describe it. The left, it almost looks like cheese on top of like a dough or something, and then the right
it,
almost looks like a I don't know if it's ice cream, but it's kind of like multicolored with looking like maybe berries, but you can explain them.
you got it. It's a in the right in the left side. It's a dough, a special dough with made of cheese inside and with cheese above it. And in the right side, it's a local dish, a local dessert called papanash. It's also like a dough, but with a sweet cheese that has been boiled, fried in oil, and above it, it's cream and a special um, let's say marmalade of made
Okay.
of a blueberry or raspberry, and this is a very tasty dish and a very
Okay.
common
Yeah,
dessert in
definitely.
Romania, and
Yeah, it
it's very
definitely sounds it. Yeah, it definitely sounds
and
like
it
a nice
looks very
treat.
nice. It's very
Yes, it
colorful.
does. It does. Looks like very Instagram worthy. Um, it's
Yes.
so these are pictures of like local street foods. The right kind of looks more like a bakery.
Yes.
Yeah, what's going on the left here? I see
And
like
the left, it's Kürtös kolak, which is a Hungarian specialty. It's let's say a dough that thing. It's rolled on those big rolls and cooked. And above it, when after cooking, it's no, we put um, nuts and sugar, and it is very tasty. And again, it's a Hungarian, mostly Hungarian specialty, and again specific for Transylvania, Kürtös kolak,
okay, very interesting.
and
So
it's very tasty
oh, great. Yeah, so it definitely
if you
sounds
like
like
sweets
yes, I
with
do. I
honey
do.
and nuts and
Oh, great. That sounds like some very unique treats. So speaking of unique, are there any type of like in my research when I was looking up like traditions, I found the Easter egg decorating, which is on the left, and it kind of made me chuckle because the price of eggs are like a real hot topic in America right now. But I didn't know if that's just like an Easter time thing, and what other type of unique experiences you may find there.
uh, Easter, it's a tradition. It's the coloring Easter eggs. It's a tradition, and in Moldova and Bukovina is the northern side of the country, just at the border with Ukraine. Everyone heard of Ukraine for 3 years now. So in that part of the country, it's a tradition, common tradition between Romania and Ukraine in painting eggs, beautifully colored eggs, and also decorated with um, um, very
Like
colored.
paints and things like that.
Yes, and
Yeah.
models is very interesting. But the picture you see in the right, in the left hand, that hand with a pen on an egg, it's actually an activity organized by the uh, village museum here in Bucharest.
Okay.
We have large park. He's here in Bucharest. Bucharest is the capital city of Romania. So we have two large open air village museums. One is in Bucharest, and the other one, you'll see some pictures a little bit later. And the other one is in Sibiu, where they actually brought old houses and put them in the museum, preserving uh, everything from the house itself, with the interiors and the rugs and everything, all the household in it. And it's a very interesting attraction, at least for Bucharest, for the ones who are willing to see rural traditions and rural life, and do not have the time to actually go in the rural area because they stay shorter. We usually take them to show them the village museum. So this egg painting activities usually an activity organized by the museum around Easter. And in the left side, you see some masks. They are again a tradition in Moldova, especially in Moldova. This time it's a tradition for Christmas and New Year. It's a barbarian tradition that somehow um, we um, we go away. We wash away the last year, and make sure that the new one it's fresh and clean. And we want to make the last year get afraid and leave. And
Okay.
these are some parts, and it's a very interesting. There are very interesting traditions, especially for Christmas and New Year. There are a lot of barbaric.
Okay. Okay, very interesting how the holidays are celebrated differently around
Yes.
the world. Yeah, it's very interesting. So this is one of the topics I was most interested in that we're going to talk about next is the spas. So you had mentioned earlier that spas are a big thing that you work with your company because of the natural resources that are so prevalent in Romania. So can you talk to us a little bit about these two pictures and what these experiences are like?
That the name Mofeta. Mofets are some are um, natural resources um, based on gas and how shall I put it? Um, it's a mixture of gases coming from the soil, but in the end, they have healthy impact on the lungs and on the respiratory system.
Okay, so how does a person like because the picture is kind of like
Mineral
a wooden
mineral
mineral. Okay.
mineral water and gases, mineral
Oh,
water
okay.
and gas. So some of they or some of them can be drunk. The other have can be used for external treatment. It's very the use are various, and you have to know also something that we have this school of balneology because of the large resources we have. We have one of the best schools of balneology, and in balneology being the science of exploiting these national resources for health reasons, for medical
Okay.
recovery reasons. And these are some in the right side. There are some baths, some equipment in used in treatment in healing in the healing process.
Okay.
You go there and you go inside, and also you I have to emphasize again that all these treatments are prescribed by a doctor. I
Okay.
mean, one comes with the medical history, uh, is seen by the uh, doctor in the facility, and is prescribed only the. I mean, it's not doing anything. It's not everything is done under medical supervision.
Okay, great. So the one on the left, it shows kind of like a wooden fencing area. Do people sit outside of that? I see like white chairs. Is that where people would sit, like, or they could have their wheelchair there, or do they have to go inside that area?
They have to go inside that area.
Okay. Is that wheelchair accessible?
Some of them, yes,
Okay.
most of them, not.
Okay. But you
But
would have access to the ones that
yes,
are.
yes,
Okay.
of course, of course. We know exactly which are. I mean, we only we we have to find all the details on the specific needs in order to make sure that we propose that product that fits the specific needs.
Okay.
And if not, I mean, it's like just brand. Okay, I know you want to go to brand, but unfortunately be aware that you
Yeah.
will not be able to.
Yeah.
So people know exactly.
Yeah, that's great. You know what works with them and their specific needs. That's great.
Yes.
Oh, these are some more pictures, some nice pools, very nice looking rooms with great views. Just flipping through quickly, and then I see a room with a nice accessible bathroom, so that's great. Just showing very, very luxurious looking, but a little something for everyone. So now let's talk about Bucharest. Is that how you pronounce it? The
Yes,
capital city?
Bucharest.
Okay. I looked it up ahead of time, how to pronounce it, but, can you fly into the city?
Yes, Bucharest is the capital city of Romania. It's has the largest airport in the country. It's Otopeni Airport, OTP. We have connections with the major destinations in the world. So I don't know. We in 2 hours we are in Paris or in Barcelona. 3 hours in London. So
Okay.
it's
Can you get there by train from those cities too?
yes, we can, but I would not advise using trains in
Okay.
Romania, unfortunately, because the railway system has been somehow put at the end of priorities, and
Okay.
it's not very modern. In the latest years, they made efforts, but while they modernized. Some of the trains themselves, of the cars themselves, they failed to modernize the railways.
Okay. So
So
are
it's
they
no
not
use to have. I mean, it takes forever to. Trains cannot roll with with high speed. But
okay.
on the other hand, for shorter distances, for example, to reach the seaside, the that nice place that you have seen, we have seen a little bit earlier. It takes around 2 hours and a half from Bucharest, and
Okay.
to reach the mountains another 2 hours and a half or 3 hours. So mm,
By car.
but and by train as well,
Oh,
because there
okay.
are ports that. But coming from Hungary, for example, with by train,
Yeah.
it's not advisable. Or
Are the trains
also,
wheelchair accessible?
I'm sorry.
Did the trains tend to be wheelchair accessible?
Yes,
Okay.
lately yes, but it's not enough to have accessible cars, accessible train cars.
Yeah.
um, we need a lot of training with the staff, with the
Yes.
personnel, and
Yeah.
with everyone in order to say that okay, that place is accessible. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
physical accessibility is one, the other one are a little bit more complicated, and it takes a little bit longer.
Okay. Okay. Interesting and good to know. So are these two sites here? One on the left looks more like a church. Is that correct?
Yes, it's one of the oldest church in Bucharest, and it's a very small church in the at the entry in the what's called the former old city center,
Okay.
and it has a beautiful architecture, and
Yeah.
it's like lace.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And what's on the right?
at the right, in the right, it's the former palace of posts, the central post office. It also has been built in the 80s. It's a heritage monument. Now it works here a bank, the one
Okay.
of the oldest banks, but
Yeah.
last
A lot more beautifully designed than our banks here in the US.
I
But
mean,
yeah, so
we
these
had a little more time than you to have them.
yeah.
And you have to know also that Bucharest has been named and known as Little Paris,
Oh,
because
yes, I did see that. Yeah, in my research. Yeah.
at the end of the 1700, people from Romania, rich people from Romania, from this country, um, sent their children to learn, and especially in around 1850, when the revolution happened all over Europe. Um, uh, Romanian youngsters have been were studying in Bucharest, in Paris, and in Vienna, but mostly in Paris. And when they came home as architects and engineers and so on, they wanted to build, and they built the same in the same style. So we also have Arch of Triumph Arch, just like the French one,
Oh,
L'Arc de Triomphe de l'Étoile. And now we have the Triumph Arc, which is placed also in the near the city center. So we have a lot in common with the French culture, not only the language, because we are Romanian. It's a Roman language.
okay, very interesting. And speaking of design, I'm going to show a picture. Are these what typical
This
homes
is
look like?
These are pictures from the village museum in Bucharest. These homes has been relocated from all around the country and put here and shown to show different styles, different regions of Romania. It's like the whole countryside of Romania in 10,000 square meters of a park in the middle of Bucharest.
Okay, very interesting. And then there's unique churches as well, which we mentioned earlier a bit, but different designs with them as well.
Yes, this happened. These are churches, actual churches that are placed again in the northern side of Romania at the border with Ukraine. The architecture is very, very specific, and these two at least are accessible. They have large alleys where wheelchair users can walk around and see what's happening. And unfortunately, I have to say this. Also, I do not put any pictures in the northern side of the country. We have a series of painted monasteries. As our religion is Christian, but Orthodox Christian, just like Russians and Bulgarians and Serbians. And one of the characteristics of our church is that our churches are colored inside, or the walls of our churches are painted, and the churches are not very high, so it's a feeling of warmth when you enter such a church. I mean, it's warm. There are colors. It's light, and these churches I'm talking about in the northern side of the country, which are part of the UNESCO World Heritage, are painted also at the exterior. So they are very interesting. Each one has its own special history, but unfortunately, they were built in the 14th century, since the 14th century. So they are not accessible, and I hope they can find ways to at least to allow persons in wheelchair to enter the and see around and watch the paintings around, because they have
Yeah.
beautiful stories.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can imagine, and hopefully they do work to improve. But speaking of like beautiful and unique artwork, the cemeteries was something I also saw in my research, and this looks to be a more accessible activity. Sounds like a strange word for a cemetery, but the artwork is very unique. Is there anything you can say about that?
Yes, it's unique in the world cemetery. It's called Mary Cemetery. You see, on each cross there is a picture and some lines. Uh, that those lines are like limericks, like small poems about the deceased.
Okay.
So it's a if the deceased was a teacher, they show a or they the sign that they
Like,
paint someone in the classroom, and then in the lines they describe teacher whatever was so nice and the kids loved him, or was not so nice and beated the kids and so on. And it's really funny, and it's really joyful. And you see it's very, very colored. The blue is
yeah.
the prominent color of the entire setting. And naive, of course, the painting, the drawings are naive. And basically it shows our mentality, our philosophy of life.
Yeah.
We used to make fun.
Yeah, no, that's
Fun of
very beautiful. It's like a celebration of life, which
Yes,
I think is a great and meaningful way to honor someone. So I thought that was very unique and special. Before
it
we
is.
wrap up, I'll show in the background the amazing high altitude roads and the rolling hills. Is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap up?
Yes.
Okay.
Give us a chance. because we are a little we are in the Eastern Europe, and people do not know much about Eastern Europe. But they give us a chance because we have a lot of things to offer. We are a very safe country, um, and we love to be hosts, and we love to have guests, and we would like to have you as our to come as guests and live like friends as friends.
That's amazing. I love that. And it's certainly I've certainly learned a lot, and I feel like if more people were aware of all the amazing like culture and sites to see, they definitely would be more likely to wanna to venture out to Romania. So I think that that's a beautiful way to wrap up the culture and the welcoming atmosphere. So I love that. So on the next slide, I'll show some contact information. The email address is contact at accessibleromania.com. The website is accessibleromania.com. And is there any other way to learn more, like social media?
Yes, you'll see on the website you have the links to our social media, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Instagram, and hopefully we will have more rich YouTube channel. But for now, we are poor in videos, but we are constantly posting on LinkedIn and on Facebook and in groups. And please ask, join us, follow us. You'll learn a lot of stories, and you'll see a lot of information about us.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I know I learned so much and definitely piqued my interest in many areas, especially the spas. But yeah, thank you so much, and it was great talking with you. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them, and we'll pass them on to Christina. But otherwise, this recording will be stored on YouTube. That's probably the best place to find it. And then feel free to check out tabifolk.com as well as accessibleromania.com. And thanks again. I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, and it was a pleasure being here with you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.